My dad has always told me that the hardest part about real estate and the hardest part about starting any business is marketing. Growing up, I saw a lot, but one of the biggest things that I noticed was his very unique ways of approaching business and approaching marketing in general. Hi, I'm Megan Simone, and I own Social Synergy Company, a marketing agency that is aimed at helping businesses thrive together. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about growing up with my dad being an entrepreneur and what effect that kind of had on me throughout my childhood. So my first understanding about what an entrepreneur was began with my dad. My dad, as many of you probably don't know, he is a very successful real estate broker in the Bay Area in California. So that's a very competitive market, and he has been extremely successful. So growing up, I saw a lot, but one of the biggest things that I noticed was his very unique ways of approaching business and approaching marketing in general. So before he became an entrepreneur, he was a computer engineer, and he started a job at Intel where he was building computers and working to help build computer chips. He was amazing at it. The problem is he really was not passionate about it. He enjoyed the work, but it wasn't something that made him wake up every single day excited, and I could really tell that that was the case as a kid kind of growing up and seeing him go in every single day to an office. He really wanted a lot more control over his day to really follow his passions, so he experimented with a ton of different business ideas while he was still working his 9 to 5. So growing up as a kid in that household, he would always ask me about business ideas and what I thought of his various ideas. I'm not quite sure why he did this. I was just a young kid. I didn't have any knowledge of business or the marketing space, but he always wanted to know what I thought about his various ideas, and his ideas were always very, very unique. So I really felt like my opinion was valued as I was growing up, and my ideas about business were valued, and that was a really great thing to have. It was a really great way to nurture me to become the entrepreneur that I am today. So after 13 years, he moved into real estate full-time. At that point, he was just part-time as a real estate agent, and then he was able to jump in completely. So he quit his job at Intel, he jumped into real estate full-time, and he started, trying to build it every hour of the day. My dad has always told me that the hardest part about real estate and the hardest part about starting any business is marketing. It's not too hard to get a real estate license, he's told me, but what's really challenging for beginner realtors and even realtors who have been at it for years is building that consistent client base that comes from marketing. So he always told me that marketing was his #1 priority. That was always what he was really focused on, and he was just trying to build as many relationships as he could that would help him get to where he needed to get. Being a real estate agent is a really difficult thing to make into a full-time career, mostly because most agents actually just sell one home a year. And that's because they don't know how to go out and find these buyers and find these sellers and get involved in these markets, or they aren't marketing themselves correctly, either on social media, word of mouth, any other way to spread their name out there. It's not going successfully for them, so they aren't selling as many homes as they'd like. This was something that my dad was always a pro at. He mastered this down to a T. So he was really good at figuring out how to win people over, how to get them to work with him, and was just an amazing people person all around. So the rest of my childhood was spent watching my dad grow his business. So he was growing his business throughout the years, and I saw all the hard work and determination he had to put in to get to where he is today. Now he is one of the top producing brokers in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is incredible because that is a very challenging and difficult market to rise up in. I really like to think that his success came from being such a people person and from thinking outside the box. My dad was always trying to find new ideas, to think outside the box, and to really figure out what he could do to set himself apart as a brand and set himself apart as a business so other people would would see how amazing he was and how well he could help them accomplish their goals. So as I've grown older, my dad is honestly my biggest influence and my biggest hero when it comes to figuring out how to be an effective entrepreneur. He's always supported my crazy business ideas and pushed me forward and encouraged me no matter what. He also had this saying where he would tell me that if something seems too hard, that's a good thing, because the harder it is, the harder it's going to be for people to copy your ideas. So to this day, he has had the biggest influence as my career as an entrepreneur. His encouragement and support has influenced my life in so many ways, and I honestly would not be where I am today without him. I think if I hadn't have grown up in this supportive environment, I probably would still be stuck in the 9-to-5 mindset. Thanks again so much for listening. I appreciate you all, and I hope you learned a little bit about what it was like for me growing up as an entrepreneur. Comment below and let me know what it was like for you growing up. Were your parents supportive of your entrepreneurial ideas? Did they push you forward or support you in any way? Or was this something that you had to overcome? Did you have to overcome, negative opinions and discouragement to get to where you are today? I'd love to know, so please let me know, and feel free to reach out to me if you need any marketing needs for your small business. I'd be happy to help.